Hello everybody, this is Question Mark again. It is still July 11th, 2022, and I have here, as you can see, a collector booster box of Commander Legends Dungeons & Dragons Battle for Baldur's Gate. Now, I said in my last video that I had another box on its way and I would be opening it soon. Well, I didn't realize that on its way meant it was being delivered right as we were speaking. So, went and picked it up, and I'm ready to open it too. And while this set came out first, I didn't have money when it came out, honestly. You know, what I was talking about before. But I came into a windfall and pre-ordered that, and that got here, you know, as soon as it could. I got the Double Masters as fast as it could because I wanted to get a video uploaded to kind of strike while the iron was hot as much as possible for the Double Masters. But, you know, Commander Legends 2, I just didn't have the money in time, but I was able to order it a little late. It is now here. So this one might not be as timely, but, you know, there's still a lot of cool stuff that we can find in here. Between Archivist of Ogma and Displacer Kitten, the mythic rare dragons, some of the commander cards are pretty great, like Black Market Connections, among others. Captain Gothrod is pretty popular in some commander decks and such. And technically this is a booster box for my roommate, because she was the one who was particularly interested in this set, and also has a dragon deck. You may have noticed there's a lot of dragons in this set, including a number that are mythic and valuable. And, I mean, people always say, like, oh, just buy the singles. Well, what if the single that you want is the most expensive card in the set? And that if you wanted to buy, like, anything more than one of those, it'd be, like, the same price as a whole box. You know? So, that said, we ordered a box, and that way we're going to get a lot of foils and showcase cards and stuff like that, and we're going to have fun opening it on camera. So the commons aren't much to write home about, you know, except the Walrus, which I believe is the first Walrus in Magic, period. So that's neat. Then Mystery Key, Modify Memory, Mountain. This and the other Dungeons & Dragons set are the only sets in Magic's history to have flavor text on the basic lands. There's another detail. Moss Diamond. So out of the diamonds, this is the least played one, of course, because it is green. But I also, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the Monster Manual art style, but it really works on these diamonds, on these mana rocks and stuff. And my roommate loves them. So yeah, this is a cool card to have gotten. Not particularly valuable, but some of the other diamonds I think are. Commander Liara Portier. Okay, an uncommon. We got an etched foil of Sivris Nightmare Speaker. That foiling is a little subtle on these, but the darkened art style with the white text is kind of nice. Also, notice the smaller font on the type line, Legendary Creature, Snake, Cleric, Warlock. That's got to be one of the longest creature types ever printed. Also, I heard that this was a card, they commissioned the art as a non-legendary creature, and then they decided that they needed a handful more legendary creatures, and so they turned this art into a legendary creature and made them up. So they made up a Snake Cleric Warlock. He could have easily just been a Snake Cleric or a Snake Warlock, but no. Anyway, we've got Cultist of the Absolute, which is great. This will probably be going in an interesting Shirei deck, because Shirei can bring back any creature you control that died this turn with a power of 1 or less, and it returns to the battlefield at the beginning of your end step. So you actually play a lot of 1-power creatures that you want to die and bring back. And sometimes the trouble actually is finding a sack outlet. And this way, it's a 1-mana sack outlet that's only on when your commander is there to bring them back. And at the same time, the commander goes from being an underwhelming 5-mana 2/2 to being a 5-mana 5/5 flyer with Death Touch and Ward Pay 3 life. So it even provides a little bit of protection for the commander. So this card I think is actually excellent for that kind of deck. Ooh, then we've got a Borderless Grell Philosopher. This is a Commander deck exclusive card that was included in the Mind Flayers Commander deck. This card never existed before, will probably never be reprinted, and is actually pretty sweet because all of your horrors gain all activated abilities of target artifact and opponent controls until end of turn. And that triggers when it enters and at the beginning of your upkeep. So pretty much every turn you can usually turn all of your horrors into soul rings, because odds are one of your 3 opponents is going to have a soul ring. So now all of your horrors tap for 2 colorless. But if there's something else wild and wacky around, you could turn it into that too. So yeah, Grell Philosopher, pretty good pull, especially for a extended art commander card. Ascend from Avernus is fine. It's nice. I don't know that much about it. I don't have much to say. It's fine. It's nice. Duke Ulder Ravenguard. Okay, so we've got a rare etched foil card here. Here's another like small type line. Legendary creature, human, noble, soldier. Oh yeah, noble. They haven't really done that very much. This has got to be a character actually from Baldur's Gate, and I don't know them very well, but you know, giving a creature hate or myriad seems quite good. Just 6 mana is a lot to cast for a commander that does something like this, but we'll see. Oh my. Well, this is one of the best hits that we could have pulled. I mean, granted, it's not the foil version, but we'll see what's next after that. But we were absolutely going to be playing Ancient Gold Dragon in that dragon deck. Honestly, this is my favorite of those dragons. The red one is arguably better because it makes treasures, but this one makes 1/1 fairy dragon creature tokens with flying. And is a 7/10. So it's got a little more power and a lot more toughness. You don't see that many good white dragons, after all. And so if this does hit, and you have, say, Scourge of Valkus or Dragon Tempest, you probably win the game on the spot. Because the average roll you're going to get is 11, right? And say you control this and Dragon Tempest. And Dragon Tempest says, whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, Dragon Tempest deals X damage to any target where X is the number of dragons you control. So say we get the average roll, which is like 11. By the way, this card, non-foil like this, is $13. Okay, so when I said it's one of the best hits in the set, I mean, once again, it's not foil, but she did particularly want the Monster Manual version. She prefers that, actually, over the borderless style, which is also technically more valuable. But as I was saying, the math there, if you have one dragon and 11 more enter the battlefield simultaneously because of this, that means that each of them will deal 12 damage. 12 times 11, that's, off the top of my head, 132? Yeah, or another way of thinking of it is 12 damage 11 times. You can kill all 3 of your opponents with that easily. So, I love this card with Dragon Tempest or Scourge of Valkus. Now we go on to what could be the biggest hit, though. It is an extended art foil, Altar of Baal, which is nowhere near as good of a hit as the last card, to be honest. I don't think this card is particularly valuable, but that's fine. With Ancient Gold Dragon alone, this has been an excellent pack and an excellent start to a booster box. Now, I didn't really go into much detail about it in the Double Masters video, that Double Masters collector booster boxes only have 4 packs in it. But this, being Commander Legends, is more like a normal set, and then it has the full 12 packs in it. So we're going to be opening these for a little bit. Granted, I am going to skip past most of the commons and uncommons as we go on, but I do like this one, honestly. 3 mana instant. Your temple is under attack. Choose one, pray for protection. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. That is an absolute staple effect you need in every white commander deck. And while this may be the second or third, maybe even fourth best way of doing it, it's a common, it's very affordable compared to like Teferi's Protection, or what is it, Indomitable Will or something, the one that you can cast for free but comes from the same commander decks as Fierce Guardianship. Those 2 are really hard to get. This is very accessible, and it also says You and target opponent each draw 2 cards, which at instant speed for 3 mana, that's not bad. In mono white, you can easily make a friend or reward a friend for their friendship, pay off a deal with this. You'd be like, hey, I'll draw you a couple of cards if you don't attack me for a turn. Anything like that. People don't talk about the like negotiation tactics that open up with cards like this enough, I think, at the commander table. It's very good, for a common especially. Hoarding Dragon is good in a dice rolling deck, which you could say that about every dice rolling card, but it's particularly good because you can dice roll every turn. And I'm so glad, honestly, that the dice rolling mechanics in these sets are all upside. Like, even the worst case scenario, you do something good. Like, you roll low, you still do something good. You roll high, you do something really good. And that, I think, is absolutely the way to do it. Rather than, like, you roll low and you sacrifice stuff or something like that. Anyway, Vol Candlekeep Researcher is cool. To get the foil Monster Manual style. That's very nice. In fact, I'll put that over there. Amber Gristle Omal. Okay, I forgot that this card existed. That's fine. We have the Etched Foil Hardy Outlander. Now, we are looking for a couple of backgrounds. Ones that come to mind are Flaming Fist. Oh, never mind. I got stopped in my tracks here for a second. We got a Foil Spire Garden. I forgot that the Commander lands are in this set. These are very valuable. These are extremely good pulls. Yeah, these are probably, what, $10, $12 each? Which, these packs are pretty expensive too, but still, Spire Garden and its ilk before this set was announced to have these cards were all $20 or $30 each. So getting a foil one is great. In fact, the Mythic Dragons and the dual lands are the main big hits in this set, that plus Archivist of Ogma and Displacer Kitten. So, excellent pull there. And real quick before I move on, the backgrounds we're thinking of were Flaming Fist, which is a common, so it should be easy to get one of those. We'll probably get one, as well as Sword Coast Sailor, which are for a couple of decks that we've been brainstorming. Both probably very inexpensive, and we're going to have a good chance of drawing them both. Oh, and the Town Hero. That one's a mythic rare. That one's going to be much harder to pull. But Durnan of the Yawning Pool. Seems fine. Seems cool. So what did I just say about some of the best pulls in the set? So we got a Extended Art Archivist of Ogma here. Which is awesome. I believe it is literally the best rare in the set. And it's an extended art version of it. I think I've been seeing this card, the normal version, going for over $20. So the extended art, probably a couple of dollars more. $24, I would guess. So that's great. Then we've got an Etched Foil, the Council of Four, which isn't particularly valuable. Oh, okay, by the way, we just looked it up, and the Extended Art Archivist of Ogma, like TCG player low, is about $18. Council of Four, that's not bad. To have an Etched Foil like that. Dinah here? Oh no, part of her name is covered up by her mist. I think it's Dinah here, Invoker Adept. She could be a pretty appealing commander to some people. I don't think we have any plans with her particularly, but that's cool. And the last card in the pack is Extended Art Foil Undermountain Adventurer, which I don't think thrills me too much. Let's see, 4 mana, 3/4 Vigilance, Creature Giant Warrior. When Undermountain Adventurer enters the battlefield, you take the initiative. Tap 2 green if you complete a dungeon, add 6 green instead. So clearly an adventure, dungeon card here. So I haven't actually seen that many dungeon or adventure decks in Commander, and I think it's because only a couple of the commanders that they printed actually seem to reward it, and they kind of limit you in terms of colors and stuff. So it's kind of a bummer that there's no, there aren't that many, reliable commanders for a adventure deck like that. Or not adventure, not adventure, venture, like a dungeon deck. You know what I mean. Anyway, so not the best pull at the end there, but honestly, the Archivist of Ogma is an excellent pull. The Spire Garden is an excellent pull. So we still have a lot to be happy about from that pack in particular. And from the previous one, of course, the Ancient Gold Dragon is very, very good. Let's see, I'm having a little trouble opening this pack. The plastic is pretty tough, and it's bound pretty closely here. Actually, you know what? I wonder if I've got, yeah, some scissors. Okay. You know what? I'm going to carefully snip into the top with scissors, since I've got some handy. There we go. I'm thinking I should have scissors on hand during all these videos going forward, because I'm trying to be very careful not to apply, the bare minimum amount of friction, especially to the edges of these cards or the faces of them. I don't want to be rubbing, on the edges and possibly damaging them, because some of the cards in here, like you get a foil borderless copper dragon, that's a lot of money. But I've seen cards that even come straight out of the pack with some marks on it that consider it to be damaged, and then even though the card would theoretically be valuable, you try to sell it to a store and they're like, I won't be able to resell that because it's damaged, I'm sorry. Had that happened to a Murktide Fiend, I think? Whatever. The blue dragon that's a mythic rare from Modern Horizons 2, and that is, very valuable. I ended up with, I think it was an extended art or a foil. I don't think it was both. But I got that out of a Modern Masters 2-pack, or Modern Horizons 2-pack, but it had, a obvious line, like a kind of crimping on it. And, it came out of the pack that way, and they're like, I'm sorry, but it doesn't matter. No matter how it got the mark in it, I can't resell it. So that was a bummer. But hey, we got the Sword Coast Sailor. So that's one that we were really hoping for. We're thinking about pairing that up with Will, the dice rolling commander for a blue-red deck, because dice rolling deck kind of needs to be blue-red. Will is the best red, so we had to include a blue background, and most of the blue backgrounds aren't really good for it. This slightly is, because Will gets bigger as you win dice rolls and stuff, or just roll dice, and this can make him unblockable and stuff. So that's not bad. The least bad of the blue backgrounds for that kind of deck. Then we got Gut, True Soul Zealot, Goblin Shaman, interesting. Okay, etched foil. Oh, we got the other version of Dinah here. This is actually the version that I prefer. I think a lot of other people do as well, because, they say she looks like Rihanna, and I believe it. Also, I've heard that that's it's like Wanderer's Twig or something like that. It's some wizard card from back in, Lorwyn. I think you can sacrifice... No, you can equip to a wizard. If a wizard enters the battlefield, you equip it for free. So, that's kind of neat. We got a Mocking Doppelganger here, which is our extended art commander deck card. Unfortunately, this is one that we cut from the horror deck already, the Captain Nagathrod Mind Flayars deck. I'm sure it's fine, but, not really our style, I guess. Oh! We got an extended art Morphic Pool. That's an incredible pull. Another one of those rare lands. So that's honestly just excellent. So I think that gets played in every blue-black commander deck, literally every one of them. Lae'zel is a nice etched foil. Bane, Lord of Darkness, is somewhat, somewhat desired, I think. All the legendary gods are currently kind of low price right now, but he's got no shirt, so somebody's got to be into this. And then we get to what could be the big hit. Ooh! An extended art foil luxury suite is an excellent hit. Excellent. Honestly, and we got a foil Undercity initiative token. That's actually pretty cool. Okay, so right now, I'm just going to pull out actually the really good hits so far. The Spire Garden... I know, I'm slow at all this stuff. I take a long time in my box openings. I like to do lots of commentary. As you've no doubt seen and heard, especially if you watch my other videos, I have a lot to say. There's a lot of interesting little factoids. And so far, we are doing pretty sick. Morphic Pool Extended Art, Luxury Suite Extended Art Foil, Ancient Gold Dragon in the Showcase Monster Manual style, Foil Spire Garden, Extended Art Archivist of Ogma. What, we've done 2 packs? 3. We've done 3 packs. This is excellent. We're doing very well. I've seen people open collector booster boxes and get literally 0 of these lands. A whole collector booster box, 0 of the lands. I've also seen someone open a whole collector booster box and get 0 of the mythic dragons. So we're doing better than both of those people at the same time so far. But those people, I know what they are. Poor, unfortunate souls. That's what they are. Because, I mean, this set is not valued particularly highly. Most of the commons, uncommons, and rares are worth next to nothing. And I watched the professor do a box opening. Ooh, lightning bolt, though. You know, lightning bolt. We got a foil lightning bolt. Flaming Fist Officer. Ooh, we're looking for the Flaming Fist background, not Flaming Fist Officer. Yeah, almost all the cards in here, except for like a fairly short list, are worth next to nothing. But that fairly short list is like 10 cards. It's the Mythic Dragons. It's, so that's 5 of them. It's the lands, so that's actually 5 more. The Cat, the Archivist, and Elminster. Those are worth something. And then maybe some of the Commander deck cards. But, yeah, and then there's a lot of, like, $0 cards, basically. So the market's a little rough on those things, but, hey, we've been getting the hits today. So Kaga, I think, is pretty cool and might make it into my green-black Elves deck. Livon, Cultist of Tiamat, like the etched foil look. Not sure if I'm ever going to play that card, but it's badass looking. Glunch, one of the more fun names in Magic's history to say. It's Glunch, the jellyfish. And it's an absolute group hug, like, master. If you've ever wanted to build a group hug deck, couldn't find a Feldegriff, Glunch is your jellyfish. Then we get our extended art rare from the Commander decks. It's Spectacular Showdown. I just want to go over this real quick. 2 mana, put a double strike counter on target creature, then goad each creature that had a double strike counter put on it this way. So you can use it offensively by putting it on your creature, of course, and then the goad kind of doesn't matter. It has to attack this turn, and it has to attack someone other than you. I assume you were going to do that if you put double strike on a creature. And if you put it on somebody like Gishoth or the Dragon or something like that, it's pretty badass. You can also put it on one of your opponent's creatures. It gains double strike forever and gets goaded for until your next turn. But maybe I'm the one with Gishoth and you're the one with Spectacular Showdown. You can put the double strike counter on Gishoth. I won't attack you. Granted, you know, Gishoth might not be the best example here because it will get me a bunch of dinosaurs. But that is all, you know, for 2 mana sorcery, that's an interesting package, could be useful. But then you can overload it. Sure, it costs 7. But you replace the word target with the word each. So you put a double strike counter on literally every creature and goad them all. Wow. Every creature on the battlefield gains double strike and has to attack and can't attack you. That's going to end a game. So that's pretty cool. Oh. Then we got an extended art, Will's Reversal, which is an okay card, but quite good in a dice rolling deck like the one that Will kind of wants you to build. So if we do build that Will dice rolling deck, we'll definitely play this card in it. So we got an extra helping of Glunch, in case we're hungry for more group hug. This is an etched foil, and it's cool, but we're moving on. This is a great pull. Tasha, the Witch Queen. Borderless. This is excellent. We were actually brainstorming a Tasha the Witch Queen deck at one point. This is the art that we both prefer. This is actually, I mean, the other cards that I named earlier as being like the top 13 or something, I think still are the top 13. But I think Tasha's right up there as well, especially the borderless version. So that's excellent. And I think we have one more good card to come. Come on, I hope it matches up. Raphael, Fiendish Savior. Okay, and it's the Monster Manual style in foil. So we were also brainstorming a deck with this at one point. Now, I don't know if we're actually going to build the Demon, Devil, Imp, and Tiefling tribal deck, but he's pretty cool, and this is the best version of him. And the deck, I love the name I came up with. Raphael is cool but rude. Some of you will get that reference. Which reminds me, the Captain Ungathrod deck, which is the Horror Tribal deck. We did make a version of that, an upgraded precon basically, and we came up with a name for that deck. There's some horrors in this house. I think some people will get that reference too. Sometimes I come up with good names. So, there's some horrors in this house. But you gotta be careful to enunciate that one. It's always a little hard to pronounce all the R's in that word. Okay, taking a long time to unwrap that one. I was trying to be very careful once again. Okay, but the cards are still like... Ew, you see this coming out of the pack this way? Yeah, they ain't exactly flat, but oh well. Universal Solvent. Evolving Wilds. Just, geez, we've got a million Evolving Wilds. But, hey, it's a foil one and it's pretty. And it's a, useful card. Played in a lot of decks still, so fine. Taunting Kobold's fun. Thunder Wave is cool. Forest. Cloak of the Bat. All right, well, that's cool. That's another card that is, like, right on the borderline of making it into a lot of Commander decks, I think. We were working on one for Wilson, and we're still really hoping for a Wilson in these packs. I think the odds are extremely good we'll pull a Wilson. And Cloak of the Bat, we thought at first might be good on it, because we definitely want to give him haste, because he has like 5 keywords, but not haste. And flying we thought would be good, but as it turns out, he's got trample. So as a bear that we're going to Voltron up, I think we'd rather be just attacking, not worry about evasion, and just trample through the blockers. Let the bear maul some people, Then we've got Tavern Brawler, Etched Foil, that's nice. Ooh, we got a foil mythic rare here, and granted, this is one of the least valuable mythic rares, but it is a foil mythic rare, so that's still cool. Then we got, ooh, yes, excellent. Our extended art commander card for this pack is, in my opinion, the best one. Black Market Connections. Just to go over that card real quick, it is 2 colors and a black for an enchantment that says, at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, choose one or more. Sell Contraband, which is create a treasure token and you lose 1 life. Buy Information, which is draw a card and you lose 2 life. Or hire a Mercenary, which is create a 3/2 colorless shapeshifter creature token with Changeling and you lose 3 life. I literally forgot that this was a 3/2. I thought it was a 2/2, and I thought it was still an excellent card. Granted, you're losing a lot of life in this, but, you're playing black. There are ways of gaining life in black. And otherwise, this is kind of a, super Phyrexian Arena? People have been playing Phyrexian Arena for years. This is going to give it a run for its money. Granted, if you just want to draw a card every turn, you technically have to pay 1 more life for it. But, one important thing, it's a May ability. So if you're down to 2 life and Phyrexian Arena goes off, you're down to 1, and the next turn you're dead. If you're down to 2 life, Black Market Connections, you can choose not to pay the life. But moreover, it can ramp you treasure tokens. It can build you chump blockers. It can fit into a tribal deck. This is absolutely going, honestly, in every black tribal deck, if you ask me. Because of the Changeling token, I mean, how are we going to find more horrors for the horror deck? There's got to be more horrors in this house. So, excellent card here. Wow, okay. And then we get a extended art Sea of Clouds, which is another of the land cycle in this set. So another excellent hit. Then we got Gale, etched foil of Waterdeep Prodigy. He's fine. Not too impressed. And then we've got a borderless Nautiloid ship as another mythic rare in the back here. I don't personally like this card, but I believe it is going for a decent amount of money. Some people do like this ship. And then I think is our last card in the pack. And it's Mazzy, True Sword Paladin. Well, that's nice. Not something I'm particularly interested in, but some people definitely are. It's good for like an aura deck. Can definitely make an aura deck good. So it's nice. Someone will want that. And we're still getting, the occasional really good pick in these packs here. You know, we've gotten so many of these lands. This is exactly what you hope for out of this set. You go to Commander Legends, and one of the things you're thinking is like, gosh, I really need to build up my mana base of all these expensive dual lands. Every deck is playing these dual lands. I need multiple of them even, and boy, it'd be nice if they were pretty, if they're extended art, if they're foil and stuff. And then, you know, some people open these boxes, they get 0, they get 1, they get 2, and that's all right. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 already, and we're still maybe halfway through the box. So let's keep rolling though. I'm just saying, I think we're doing pretty great so far, and this is my least favorite face in Magic the Gathering. Marching Duodrone, I don't like your face. So we're going to put that away. Jeff Miracola, you killed it, but I don't like his face. I don't think we're supposed to like his face, though. Tavern Brawler. Candleseat and Keep Sage. That's the etched foil. That's nice. Myram, Sentinel Worm. This card is amazing, and it would be absolutely excellent for her dragon deck. In fact, maybe the best card in the deck, except she already pulled a foil monster manual version that she prefers. So that one actually went in the deck, and we've played it, and it lived up to the hype. It was absolutely insane. All the dragons got doubled, and the game ended very quickly after that. So play it in your dragon decks. I don't think it's a big hit, though, actually. I think it's still only a couple dollars, which is crazy. I imagine that's one of those ones that's going to go up. Stick Together. I heard this is good, but let's see. 5 mana. Each player chooses a party from among creatures they control, then sacrifices the rest. A party can be up to 1 cleric, rogue, warrior, and wizard. The party deck, did it really ever come together? I mean, I'm glad that they revisited the party mechanic for this set, but they kind of just did it for the Black-White Commander deck, and that's it. So that means they reprinted a few cards, they printed like 5 new ones that care about parties, and they're in black and white only, and that's it. And honestly, I think that wasn't enough. I wish it was a main mechanic in the set like it was back in Zendikar Rising. And then I think there would have been enough party cards. But as it is, I think you have 2 possibilities, either General Tazri or, well, the Black-White Legend from this Commander deck. And in either case, I think you're really pushing the limits of what's playable in Commander these days. Oh well. Blood Money, on the other hand, is sick nasty. So 5 black for a sorcery, and extended art, of course. There you go. Destroy all creatures. For each non-token creature destroyed this way, you create a tapped treasure token. So if you're trying to build a big black deck, this is incredible. You blow up everything, and the next turn you drop the biggest, baddest spell in the history of Magic, whatever it is. Whew! You know, people don't play a whole lot of, what do you call it, Decree of Pain anymore, but in big black decks, I think you absolutely still do, and this is now your second Decree of Pain. Decree of Pain draws you a bunch of cards, this one makes you a bunch of mana. They're both excellent, they're partners. They're friends. We've got an etched foil Noble Heritage, which is neat. It's kind of weird. It's like a real diplomacy kind of background. So I don't know who's going to be playing that, but somebody's going to have fun with it. We got a Monster Manual Lae'zel Vlaakith's Champion, which is not much to write home about, honestly. Oh my god. We got a borderless foil Tasha the Witch Queen, the fanciest version of one of the fancier cards in this set. Whew, that is a good hit. And did it look kind of off-center to me? Or is it like, no, I don't think so. No, but this is an excellent, beautiful card, a good card, and we may go ahead and, in fact, actually build that deck after all. We thought that it had a little bit too much overlap with the Captain and Gothrod deck, considering they're both like blue-black, steal your opponent's stuff decks. But Captain and Gothrod is a horror tribal mill deck that steals artifacts and creatures out of your opponent's graveyards. Tasha is a, like, kind of spell slinger, steal your opponent's spells, like instants and sorceries deck, and makes demons as the potential way to win the game. So They're blue-black. They steal your opponent's stuff, but they otherwise are fairly different. I just worry that they would still have a lot of overlap. All the card draw, the mana ramp, some of the other spells. So, anyway, let's see. We got Pilgrim's Eye, Blessed Hippogriff. We got a whole new, gate. Oh yeah, there's some cool gates in this set. Haven't seen any of them really so far. Stone Speaker Crystal, actually kind of good. Yeah, actually kind of good, the Stone Speaker Crystal. You should absolutely be playing some Graveyard Hate in every deck. And in black decks, it's Bojuka Bog. In, kind of colorless decks, if 4 mana for a rock that makes 2 makes any kind of sense to you, this is one you want. Then we've got Aranis Gloomstalker, who I don't have much to say about, honestly. Sword Coast Sailor, the Edged Foil. Excellent. That's probably the version we'll be playing. Still looking for Will to pair with it, though. Earthquake Dragon. Now, this may not be a big hit, but this is a big hit for the Dragon deck, because we are absolutely going to be playing Earthquake Dragon in her commander deck. It's 15 mana for a 10/10, or so it seems. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total mana value of dragons you control, which will reduce this mana cost typically by half, often by all of it. Sometimes this is going to be a 1 green, 10/10, Flying Trample, and you can pay 3 and sack a land to return it from your graveyard to your hand. This card is actually excellent in Dragon Tribal. Still, the card's worth like $1 or $2, so what can you do? But still an excellent, very desirable card for us. Aboleth Spawn. Well, that's an extended art version of a horror that I forget if it made the cut in the horror deck. Let's go over it again real quick. 3 mana for a 2/3 Flash Ward 2. I like those. Whenever a creature entering the battlefield causes an opponent's control, under an opponent's control causes a triggered ability of that creature to trigger, you may copy that ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. Does seem a little narrow, and it is, based on what your opponents are doing. So, I don't know if this made the cut. It is a 3 mana 2/3 Flash and Ward 2, and it's a horror, so it might have still. I don't know. Traverse the Outlands is an excellent card, honestly. I'm a little bummed that last time I checked, this card was not very valuable. I think you play this in Stompy decks. I think you play this in most Stompy decks that are green. So I play it in Dinosaurs. I recommend it in a lot of decks like Dragons, Beasts, Elementals maybe, stuff like that. Even Cats, potentially. I mean, think about it. If you're playing like the Arabo Cats deck, say you've got like a 2/2 cat. Easy. Most cats are like 2/2s. Hell, you know what? Let's bump it up. Let's say a 3/3 cat, okay? And you attack with it. Your commander is going to make it a 6/6 until end of turn, and then you cast Traverse the Outlands. And then you go search your library for 6 basics, put them onto the battlefield tapped, and you never worry about lands the rest of the game. You've doubled your mana, practically, or literally. So, yeah, if you've got big stompy creatures in your deck and you're playing green, I think Traverse the Outlands is an excellent way to go from maybe arguably enough lands to plenty, and you never have to worry about it again. Plus, deck thinning. Some people knock it, but I don't. I think deck thinning is a thing. It, increases your chances by like 1 to 2%. But anyway. Ball, Lord of Murder, Etched Foil, God. Still not worth anything for some reason, but very cool. Duke, Older, Raven Guard. We've got a couple different versions of him right now. I don't think he's that cool. Ball, Lord of Murder, again, in foil. We got 2 balls. Check them out. Anyway, I'm going to put that away. Ooh! The Fairy Dragon token. That's cool. That'll help out a lot with the Ancient Gold Dragon that we pulled at the beginning. I don't know if you noticed, but this is a white dragon that makes blue dragon tokens. They're fairy dragons, though. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm also doing this in one take, in case you didn't realize. I do pretty much all my videos in one take with like no editing usually, so I don't know. I'm here on a 0 budget setup. I'm honestly recording these on my phone, if you haven't noticed. I'm using the built-in mic on my phone. I think the quality is good enough. I wish I could do better for you, but like I said, I'm on 0 budget here. I'm just doing this as a fun thing I enjoy doing, and maybe someday it'll kind of pay off. But for the time being, I don't really have any money to invest in the setup. And of course, I'm not making any money off this channel currently. Maybe I will someday. Jade Orb of Dragonkind. This is one that we absolutely wanted, and I'm really glad to get it in foil. Now, you may think, a green mana rock, why for? Well, we're going to play it in a dragon deck, of course, Dragon Tribal, and we're going to be cutting something like, I don't know, Commander Sphere for it, something like that. But 2 and a green for an artifact. It taps for a green, and when you spend this mana to cast a dragon creature spell, it enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it and gains hexproof until your next turn. Do you have any idea how often people kill your dragons at the beginning of combat? When you're playing Ur-Dragon, they do, because if they attack, then they trigger the Ur-Dragon. People will, of course, kill their Ur-Dragon with Path or Swords or Terminate or something as soon as possible. This gives them hexproof until your next turn. Not until end of turn, until your next turn. Sorcery speed removal, you know, your I don't know, Grasp of Fates, or your people don't play a whole lot of sorcery speed removal anymore, but it's out there. People will often do it with synergy with something else that they're already doing, you know, like a creature that enters the battlefield and destroys or exiles a creature. You know, your ravenous chupacabras and stuff. This protects you against that while making the dragon permanently bigger in a ramp card. So we're cutting a ramp card for one that makes your dragons also bigger. So anyway, sorry if I felt like I had to defend that choice, but I think it's actually excellent. Excellent, excellent support card that we cut something that we don't really care about in a dragon deck for something that is tribally specific and synergizes very well. Sivrus looks really, you know what? I really like the purple on this. It's very dark purple, yet it's reflective. I don't like this card, but if we get any others that are foil monster manual black cards, ooh, I'm into it suddenly. Okay, we've got Dungeon Delver as a background, but I realize I've spent a bunch of time on... Oh, hey, well, there it is. The Flaming Fist etched foil. This is exactly what I was hoping for the Wilson deck. Wilson is a bear, and this will give him double strike. He has all kinds of other abilities. He's got vigilance, he's got reach, he can't be countered. He's got ward 2, he's got trample. But he doesn't have double strike. And giving him double strike, I mean, that 5th keyword, really, chef's kiss. You know, and then you can build a green-white Voltron deck, and you've got lots of options for giving him lifelink and making him very swole. Seems good. And also, you keep the mana value really low. Wilson's only 2, this is 3. You can play Wilson on 2, play this on 3, attack, and start racking up the damage. So, very excited about that card. Call to the Void. Each player secretly chooses a creature they control and a creature they don't control. Then those choices are revealed. Destroy each creature chosen this way. Okay, I'm going to have to, like, study this card for an hour. So I'll just set that aside for now. Death's Kiss. So I think this is the Commander deck card, but I don't really know it. Monstrosity? Yeah, okay. When it becomes monstrous, go to a bunch of creatures. Oh, yeah, this is the Go deck. Okay, I don't particularly like this card, honestly. Robe of the Archmagi, on the other hand, this card's awesome. And we got an extended art version of it. I'd love to get a foil. The colors on this are very pretty. But 2 and a blue for an artifact equipment with whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you draw that many cards. And it equips for 4, but you can equip it to a Shaman, Warlock, or Wizard for 1. If you're playing a Shaman, Warlock, or Wizard commander deck, like if your commander is one of those types, and you are in blue, I think you should just play this. Like across the board. If your commander is one of those types, and you're in blue, play this card. Like 100%. So, moving on. Dyna here. Okay, Well, we've got all three versions of her now. The foil, the etched foil, and the uh, showcase version. So nice, but moving on. Okay, we got Merkel, Lord of Bones. I'm actually not at all sure how to pronounce that. Like, my instinct is to pronounce it very similar to Miracle, like Miracle, but I'm wondering if it's maybe Merkel, but then it sounds like Urkel. Every version of the pronunciation that I can think of sounds like something a little silly. And this thing is not silly. This thing is not silly. It's a 7/5, and it has like multiple infinite combos with it. I don't even want to get into it. But wow, not silly. Okay, so we've got a extended art foil Wand of Wonder. Which, I mean, I laugh because this was the, like, buy a box promo, I think, or was it the bundle promo? Whatever it is, there's a million of these things running around. I've already got two, just buying a bundle. So, yeah, not terribly exciting, except it will see play in that Will and the Sword Coast Sailor dice rolling deck. So there. Okay. It'll get played. It'll get played. All right, we got more packs to go, though. We've got this one and then 3 more. Ooh, okay, I'm past 45 minutes already. Yeah, I'm feeling a little long-winded here. Like I said, I'm going to try to speed up a little bit more. I probably don't have that much more to say about that many more cards in here. I've said most of it. We're probably not going to be playing the blue, black, or white orbs of dragon kind, just because the dragon deck is primarily red and green. Green for a lot of the ramp, and red for most of the dragons, of course. So not the blue one. Oh, well, there it is. Carnelian Orb of Dragonkind. Why this one? Well, because it's red. So that's the easiest one to play in the deck generally, and the most useful. And it gives haste. And sure, like 4 or 5 of the dragons in the deck already have haste. And sure, we've got 3 or 4 other ways of giving all of our creatures haste. But what's to hurt from a mana rock that does the same thing, eh? So we'll play it. Nothic. What the heck? Okay. Island. Decanter of Endless Water. Oh yeah, this card's amazing! Okay, you know, if you haven't heard about this card, I understand why. This set has really fallen in the shadow of Double Masters, but this is where all the new designs are. And some of them, a lot of them, are specific to this set. Rolling dice and venturing into the Undercity and all that kind of nonsense. But some of them are just generally good. And I know that 3 mana rocks are really, you know, out of flavor right now, out of favor, whichever you want to say. But you have no maximum hand size, and you tap to add 1 mana of any color. Think about how popular Reliquary Tower is, and you can play it in any deck, and it makes colorless. This makes mana of any color. So you have to... Okay, talking about opportunity cost. What's the opportunity cost of playing a Reliquary Tower? Well, normally pretty low. You have to cut a land for it, and then it makes mana, and it doesn't enter the battlefield tapped. So the opportunity cost is fairly low, but it makes colorless, which does hurt your mana base a little bit. So if you're playing 1 color, pretty easy. You're playing 2 colors, probably fine. You're playing more than that, and I think the opportunity cost gets high enough that you really want to have a deck that like particularly cares about having lots of cards in their hand. And not every deck does. I think that honestly, a lot of people overplay Reliquary Tower, putting it into every deck. It's just a staple land, right? Well, if you're playing 3 colors and one of them's not blue, you probably aren't drawing the number of cards that it would matter. And sometimes you'll get mana screwed. Just saying, it happens in Commander. I watch it. Decanter of Endless Water is what you want in that deck. It produces all your colors. It ramps you and doesn't take up a land play for the turn, and then you have no maximum hand size. Probably in a deck where you have multiple ways of doing that kind of thing. So this card, I think, is very overlooked. This is, you know, probably valueless right now, but the foil Monster Manual version of this card, I think this should be like $5. Personally, I think it should be. It probably isn't, but I think it should be. We got another foil Flaming Fist. This one's not etched foil, so hey, she'll have her choice, whether she wants the foil or the etched foil. Still looking for Wilson, still looking for Will. The odds are still pretty good that we'll get him, though. Street Urchin, we will pass. Wand of Wonder. We've got another one of those. Seasoned Dungeoneer. When it enters the battlefield, you take the initiative. Whenever you attack, target attacking cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard gains protection from creatures until end of turn. It explores. What the mishmash? So taking the initiative, which is an effect exclusive to this set, Commander Legends 2 Battle for Baldur's Gate. Cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard. That's the party mechanic from Zendikar Rising, brought back for this commander deck. And then it explores. That is exclusively an Ixalan mechanic, and nobody remembers what the heck explore means. And then we got the extended art version, which doesn't explain it. Any of it. Take the initiative is an incredibly complicated mechanic. The party is somewhat complicated, and then exploring is quite complicated. This is possibly the least intuitive Magic card since Cryptic Command with no text. That said, if you're building a party deck, it seems really good. We've got the Horn of Valhalla, which I haven't heard anyone talking about. Looks okay. Actually, now that I'm looking at it a little more closely here, looks great in a go-wide deck. Anyway. Raised by Giants, a really cool background. It's like the most expensive one mana-wise, but your commanders are 10/10s, is basically what it is. Your commanders are 10/10s, and that's pretty sick. So, we get Zevlor, Elturel, Exile, and Josh Lee Kwai has talked about this one at length. It's fine. It's neat. And then Monster Manual is the last card in the pack. Extended Art Foil. Seems neat. It's like a Elvish Piper, but it costs 1 more mana to activate. But it isn't as easy to destroy as Elvish Piper is, because it doesn't die to Blasphemous Act and Wrath of God and stuff like that. Plus, it has this little, mill card, then return a creature card, so it's a little like tutoring. So it's not bad. And then Pegasus token. Okay. So there haven't been as many big hits in the last couple of packs. None of the dual lands, none of the dragons. But there's still been some really cool commons and uncommons that we've been looking for in particular that we are going to play. So that's nice. This is the third from the last. We've got Guildsworn Prowler, Run Away Together. Yeah, we did get an Archivist of Ligma earlier. Don't want to forget about Ligma. Renari, Merchant of Marvels, I believe, is another card that wasn't originally going to be a legendary creature, and then they errated it to be one. Put that over there. Rosa Rail, Kingpin. Okay, she's actually a character from Baldur's Gate, I believe, and I don't know if she's any good, because she's like taking the initiative in blue-black, which is, I don't think, the best colors for that effect. Okay, we've got a Scion of Hallister. This is the background. Oh, the first time you would draw a card, you instead look at 2 and put 1 in the grave, 1 in your hand, basically. So that's not bad. That's not bad. Etched foil. Cool. Barroom Brawl. This is a weird one as well. Your creature fights 1 to the left, and then they may copy that spell. Which a lot of people, I think, didn't realize that then if they fight, the person to their left can now copy the spell. And then if they fight, the copy to their left can copy the spell. And then you go full circle. And you can keep going. Everybody can pick fights with everybody around and around until everybody's beaten up. So it's a wild card. So we got an extended art Captain and Gothrod, which I can imagine a deck where you might play it in. Maybe one where your commander is, I don't know, Captain and Gothrod. I can imagine a deck like that, because we have one. And I don't think that there even is an extended art foil available. I think you've got to get either foil or extended art. So we might just pack both. Just bring them both. Why not? This is a very cool pull. I don't know if it's valuable, but it's a really cool pull.
Well, I didn't want this set because it's value. I wanted it because I liked the set.
Yeah. So Mighty Servant of Luco is cool if you're into like some Pacific Rim stuff. These two are like drifting together. They're drift compatible, I guess. But the card's not actually very good. We've got Baba Lysaga, Night Witch, etched foil. This is another one that we've been brainstorming as a commander, and we agreed that the monster manual art is ugly as hell. So this is the version we prefer, in part because you can also see her cottage, which is alive and walking on legs. She's in her living, walking cottage. Yeah. And, of course, important thing to remember when looking at this card, it says sacrifice up to 3 permanents, and if there are 3 or more card types among the sacrificed permanents, that's when it does its thing. So the key to the deck is doubling and even tripling up on keyword abilities, on types, on permanent types. So you want your artifact creatures, of course, your enchantment creatures, sure, your lands that can become creatures, your lands that can become artifact creatures, your Dryad Arbor that's a land creature, your Blinkmoth Nexus that can become all 3. You want to play a Shaya, the one that makes all your creatures lands. There's a lot of really cool options, and then you just throw them away and draw cards and drain life, and then you draw more and you play them too, and then you can recycle them. So card seems really, really cool, actually. Then we've got Volo, Itinerant Scholar. So this is an excellent pull. Another potential commander who is like trying to complete the Pokedex. It's Professor Oak over here, but he's got a weird chef hat. So that's cool. And then the last cool card in the pack, Asterion's Thirst. Okay, is this card any good? 4 mana instant, you exile a creature, put X +1/+1 counters on a commander creature you control, where X is in the power of the creature exiled this way. Okay, I think this is actually a commander exclusive card, which tells me then that every rare once in a while, you can get an extended art foil of a commander deck exclusive card like this one, like Captain Ngothrod. So there is a perfect Captain Ngothrod out there, and we've still missed it, but that's okay. Asterion's Thirst seems okay. I like instant speed removal. I like exile in particular, because so many creatures get like indestructible these days. It's nice to not have to worry about that. Or regeneration. It happens still. Alright, we're down to the last 2. I guess I could see it also in like a black Voltron deck, like Skullbriar. Skullbriar would be good, because you need more like removal and defensive cards in that deck, because it tends to be like a silver bullet, and you gotta stop yourself from dying. So you exile a creature, and then you put more counters on Skullbriar. Okay, I'm actually gonna want that for my Skullbriar deck, which I don't have one yet, but I probably will. So Fire Diamond foil, that's actually really cool. Fire Diamond is on the border of whether or not I'll play it in my mono-red CEDH deck, and this is actually a little bit tempting. Sigil of Merkul, Ghost Lantern, Forest, Charcoal Diamond. Well, that is very pretty, and actually probably goes straight in a mono-black deck. Honestly, I think this is really good in mono-black, and very pretty. Master Chef, a fun background that may get some use. Rasad in Bashir, probably won't get a lot of use. It's like Butt Fight, but not a really good one. Whoa, okay, we've got a mythic foil here, Vexing Puzzle Box. This is another really good hit in the set. There is a borderless version that's actually like quite valuable, but this is generally good. It is a 3-mana rock that you roll dice off of, and it can tutor. So actually, the dice rolling deck, I was worried about how we were going to get one, because it's a mythic rare, but we got one, and it's foil, and it's sick, and I'm very happy. And we got Journey to the Lost City extended art, which is fine. Not near as exciting, but fine. And then we got a Barroom Brawl extended art, which is fun. It's wacky. And we got Nine Fingers Keen, which we were brainstorming a gate deck at one point, and this is definitely a really good commander for a gate deck that's not trying to go for the old Maze's End victory. I mean, you could do it, but I think that, you just do her thing and you cast free spells. But unfortunately, limiting you to 3 colors cuts out a lot of gates. You still get, I believe, 11, but something like that. Anyway, pretty cool to get that in etched foil. And then I think we go on to the... No, we've got 2 more cards. Alaundo the Seer, who I think is kind of underrated. He does a pseudo-suspend thing, though. But I'm not going to be doing it. And then the big one... Furbolg Flutist is a 6-mana 4/4 giant bard with enthralling performance. When it enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature you don't control until end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste and myriad until end of turn. Actually, that's kind of cool. And it would be good in, like, my Kiki Jiki deck, except that you can't target one of your own creatures and go infinite with it. So that's a bummer. But the thing that you copy, that you borrow, gains myriad, this could actually be pretty powerful. So cool. All right, another foil Undercity token, and we go on to the last pack, finally. You've been waiting with me here for an hour so far, and I appreciate you if you are still here. I do tend to blather on, but hopefully some of this, trivia and some of my analysis of some of these cards provides a little bit of extra value over your Rudies who just speed through it and talk only about the money, and your professors who are silent and playing royalty-free music at you for an hour. Hopefully that has some value to you. Marble Diamond, once again, quite nice in a mono-white deck. And we happen to be working on one of those too. So cool. Thrakus the Butcher is actually a really good dragon and worth playing in a Dragon Commander deck, because while it's a 5-mana 3/4, that doesn't seem very good. 3/4, that's such small power for a dragon. And it's legendary in green and red. How is it that weak? Well, it's got trample, okay. When it attacks, double the power of each dragon you control until end of turn. So this is not a 3/4. Not when it attacks, it's a 6/4. And that's a lot more respectable, but then it doubles everybody else. And that's humongous. So, absolutely playing that in a Dragon Tribal deck. Lausanne could be played in a Dragon Tribal deck, but I'm currently not feeling it. With only 2 toughness, it is a little vulnerable. It's a 5-mana creature. It cares about adventure spells, which you're not going to do. But whenever you cast an adventure or a dragon spell, Lausanne deals damage to that spell's, or equal to that spell's mana value to any target that isn't a commander. This is honestly fine, but I think that we're trying to win with stompiness in the dragon deck. So doesn't quite make the cut, I think. Eldritch Pact is cool from... Oh, but a bajillion mana. Never mind. Bothersome Quasit. Goaded. Creatures your opponents control can't block. Okay, doesn't seem like that's going to come up very much. Displacer Kitten! Hey, awesome! Okay, glad that we finally got it. Okay, well, and it's an extended art too, so that's nice. Okay, yeah, Displacer Kitten is one of the better cards in this set, one of the best rares, of course, one of the best new cards, and it's a combo machine. Turns out this pretty kitty goes infinite with like 20 different things. It's insane. So while I'd love to see it just played for value and for its cuteness, unfortunately, I got a feeling that this thing is gonna, like, I blink this 7,000 times and kill you all, and that's how I'm actually gonna see it. So that might be kind of a bummer. I might get sick of it, but I'm not yet. Then we've got...
I'll play her fairly.
Oh, sure you will.
Yeah.
Okay, then we've got an etched foil John Irenicus, which is really cool. I'm working on a John Irenicus deck right now, although I actually don't prefer this art. This art's a little murky, and it's not super clear like what his whole deal is. Honestly, I read up on his wiki a little bit. It's still not super clear what his deal is. He's an elf wizard, but he's blue-black. I actually prefer the Monster Manual art on this one, which is much simpler, and he's just like, ha, I am a bad guy, look at me. It's like, okay, yeah, I see that. Whereas this one, it's like, you're draining the life from a guy, and you're pink. Okay. But still, neat. Then we've got another Myrim Sentinel Worm. So we've got a bunch of different versions of Myrim Sentinel Worm right now. Very cool card. Not needed at this point. And our last card is Call to the Void, which is weird and not easily understood and not valuable. So, not going to worry about it. So in the end, the first half of our packs were way better than the second half, but we still got some really cool stuff from the Vexing Puzzle Box that I think is worth something. but definitely going to be played in dice rolling decks. Captain Nagothrod, excellent commander. Upgrade to the commander deck you might have gotten. We got 2 Tashas in borderless. 1's foil. That's sick. We got black market connections. Absolute staple in black going forward. You just watch. Archivist of Ligma. Wait a second. Remember earlier, in one pack, let's see. I want to see if I can find it real quick. I gotta make the joke. I'm sorry. If any of you were curious what I meant when I said like Archivist of Ligma, it's a very serious condition. So if you're curious, what is Ligma? Ligma balls. Okay, so by the way, the Vexing Puzzle Box foil is about $5.50, so not super valuable, but you know these packs aren't the most expensive, and honestly, I think that a lot of these cards are going to come up in value over time because I think this set is being completely overshadowed by Double Masters. You know, this set released, and then like the next day, spoilers start for Double Masters, and it's like, by the way, how would you like some Mana Vaults? By the way, how would you like Imperial Seal? This, you know, $1,000 card or something. Nothing can stand up to that kind of pressure. And Commander Legends honestly probably should have had some things like Dockside Extortionist in it. It could have had Smothering Tithe in it, but they put those both in Double Masters. I wish the Double Masters would have had a couple other things. But it's okay. It's okay. You know, we ended up getting some of the reprints that we needed anyway, and, you know, it's going to bring the prices down a bit and make the availability much higher. And along the way, we still got 4 extended art or foil or both of the dual lands from this set, and that is excellent. Honestly, we got some good pulls here. I don't know if this is profit, but there's a lot of useful things in here. Unfortunately, we didn't get a Wilson. How did we go through all of it and not get a Wilson? Okay, actually, this was a complete failure. The entire box, it was worth it, not worth a penny, because we didn't get the cute bear.
Also, I still think that this set was so overshadowed by Double Masters because they played them right so close to each other.
Oh, absolutely.
That I feel like that this set is very undervalued. I really think there's a lot of good stuff in this set that people are like, oh, it's only worth this, only worth that. But it's only worth that because the market's so focused on Double Masters is so wild, but I do think in the long run the prices of these singles is gonna go up over the next year, quite a lot more than. And also the fact you could get, I think was it like a week ago, you could get a set booster for $90. Now, this is a collector booster
actually,
that was just under 200, but still. To get a set booster for 90.
Let me tell you,
there's a lot of good stuff in here. Maybe
let me
you don't
tell
get
you,
the fanciest version, but
don't get a draft booster box of this set.
No, it is.
If you care about showcase cards and you care about foils and you want the bling, if you've already got a bunch of these lands and you just want nicer ones, fine, get a collector booster box. You'll get a lot of bling. It'll be very cool, but it's a gamble as it always is.
And you'd like.
But your best bet is going to be the set boosters, because not only will you get a mythic dragon here or there, a land here or there, 1 or 2 other good cards probably, you'll get all the commons and uncommons you need to fill out the various themes and strategies in the set, but you'll get a handful of list cards, and a lot of those list cards are valuable. And some of those list cards are the most valuable cards in the set, actually. So that's my recommendation. It's cheap. There's a lot of potential for value in those cards, and it's all going to rise over time.
And also, I think the ancient, like the ancient copper, ancient brass, ancient gold, those I've seen have been extremely rare. And even like, you know, watching, I follow a lot of the box opening, I was not at all expecting to get even that. So,
yeah, we got one.
Yeah.
I've seen people open like maybe 2 might be the average for a box.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like
we did great, honestly. So I'm very happy, and I need to wrap this up. It's been over an hour. But thank you for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. You're an absolute trooper. I'm glad to have you here. I don't know when my next video is going to be scheduled at this point, because actually, I forgot to mention, I don't know of any new Magic products being released for the rest of July or August.
We'll have secret layers come in that you could.
We'll have secret layers coming in. That's right. We've actually ordered a bunch of secret layers that are going to be coming in. So I will have some videos to make about those things. But there's no new products. Why did Double Masters have to come out so close to Commander Legends when they got a month and a half of no products? Why, Wizards? honestly, I think that they should have put, like I said, the Dockside Extortionist, the Smothering Tithe, a couple other cards, Mana Drain even could have fit into this set, and shove off Double Masters for a few more months. Bump up maybe Unfinity. They could put Unfinity in August, and then put this set in October. And I think everything would have sold better. But what can you do? It is what it is. Once again, thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.